I just thought I'd reach out and do a bit of a video this week because I wish to engage you. I find it much easier to engage students in a classroom environment. I find it very hard to do so sometimes online. So this is my second unit online and I would like to try something new. So hopefully my crustily handsome face will, if it doesn't put you off, will help you remember some of the tasks this week and some of the comments that I'm about to make. So, welcome to week 4. Happy Easter, and thanks very much to everyone who sent me chocolate. Where's it gone? Oh, I've left it out the front. Hang on a sec, I'm just going to go get my chocolate. Excellent. There it is. Come from my favourite students. My favourite students are the ones who send me chocolate. Obviously, they're the ones who are going to get a high distinction for this class. No, I'm kidding. Congratulations on everyone who's submitted assessment 1. My first glance at the work, and overall I'm happy. There is a variety of lighting states, lighting conditions, lighting quantities, different shots, different times of day, etc. Fantastic. So congratulations to everyone who has now submitted, and you put that behind you. Job done. Just on that note, a little bit of feedback is it's important to take an awareness of and attention to the assessment criteria. So for each of these 5 or 6 assessments, 6 all up, there is an assessment criteria. And for you to pass and for you to do very well, your job is to meet the criteria. Now that's the same as in any professional studio environment. You know, a client sets you a task and they'll be happy with it if you meet their brief. So the atmosphere, the conditions are the same really in this classroom environment. So please pay attention to the assessment criteria. If you've taken photographs, between 20 and 25 photographs, and then uploaded those and then selected 10 of those and put those in the light marking album, and if those reflect a great deal of variety in subject matter, time of day, lighting conditions, lighting states, quantity and quality of light, you'll probably do very well. And if you don't, then you might not. So, it's not rocket science. To do well in this class, you really just have to follow the brief, follow the assessment criteria, and participate. So please do that. I'm emphasising that because there are at least a small number of students in my class who are confused by the assessment requirements of number 1. Now you'll know who you are, I believe, because I've mentioned it to you by email. And there might be a couple more that I haven't noticed, but the point being that there's no excuse. If you do not understand the assessment criteria or the assessment or the deadline or the number of photos, and you haven't figured that out before now and haven't chosen to ask a question to clarify your confusion, then it's your fault. I'm sorry, but it's a big world out there, and if you can't read the text or show up and ask the questions or email me, then it's on your head, not mine. And Swinburne are very strict about assessment penalties, and I used to be more lenient as a teacher in uni, but I've now decided that it's unfair and unreasonable to be lenient, and it's actually a better system for me as an educator is to try to give you or fashion an atmosphere of a real working studio, which is odd because you guys spend a lot of money on this course and I get paid to teach or to deliver this unit. So in a sense, I work for you. However, it's not really a good way to think about it. You really should probably think about me as your employer and that you work for me in a design studio context, and that these meetings and that these tasks that we set are coming from your boss. So if you don't understand what your boss says, you got to ask him the question, or you got to turn to your colleagues in the digital hypothetical seat next to you in this studio and ask them. Okay, so don't let uncertainty or hesitancy get in the way of you doing good work, of you answering or getting questions answered. Which brings me to the subject of the discussion board and why we actually have this discussion board and the thread that this video is attached to. There's a couple of reasons. One is it's a place to ask your questions and have them answered by me or by other students. There was one convener in another photography course who had a student in his class that was far more experienced and better at photography and knew far more technical knowledge than he did. Not sure why they were there, but it happened. And that student offered to, and this teacher accepted, that the student was answering the questions of the other students. So that's one scenario. But another scenario is that you've had the same question and you've figured out the answer. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be answering a question of a fellow student in these forums. The other aspect to it is we want you to learn more. We want you to practice. Now, what happened last week in this group is there's been some fantastic image descriptions posted and some great titles for photographs and some comments on the sample photo I put up of the dog. Really excellent work. So for those of you participating in that, voluntary process, thank you, because I believe you've shown through that practice an interest to learn, and you've probably found that you're better at doing the thing that I asked you to do than you were prior to having tried it. It's practice. I mean, that's what life's all about. We don't ever get good at something until we practice it. So that's the other reason for these discussion board threads, is that we set little activities for you to do, and we want you to do it. And yeah, it's not assessed. Okay? But remember, I'm your boss. So, you got to think about that. Anyway, that's that. Now, another topic I want to discuss is that this week's content, where we introduce light meter and shooting modes, thank you, brain. The learning materials, there's not a lot of content. It's just a little bit light on. So we want you to think about this week as an opportunity to take some more photographs and just go out there and have fun with the camera using the light meter album and the light meter final set of 10 images as an example to experiment with your camera, to take photos and to get out there and to be, to enjoy this new tool that we're encouraging you to use. Remember or note that though that album is not assessed, it's not directly assessed, but we require you to do it. In the background, you have assessment 2 running. In other words, you should be taking photographs for that already, assessment 2 camera. And that is due to be submitted 9 a.m. Friday, April 15, and an invitation. Come along on Thursday night to a Collaborate session. Jonathan and I will be running that. It starts at 7:30 p.m. and it goes till 8:30 p.m. and you will find the links in the Collaborate links portal of the main menu. It's very casual. It's primarily set up to answer your questions about assessment 2 camera. Please come along and have your questions answered. And that will be that. Now, there's some notes here. Shane, where'd you put your notes? Very professional. I think I've covered everything. Goodness gracious. Did I talk about chocolate? I think I did. Anyway, thanks everyone. Please enjoy your week, enjoy the camera, and email me if you've got any questions that are too private or personal to go on Blackboard. I know some of you have, and that's fine, but email me if you've got some. If it's something that I think should be shared, I will ask you to ask me the question in the Q&A. Otherwise, just go straight to the Q&A, ask your questions, participate, enjoy, have a great week. Now, where's your off switch?